Amelia dropped a huge secret on Bennett last night on Married at First Sight right before Decision Day. Guys, what is up? Married at First Sight was on last night, and Decision Day, I believe, is going to be the next episode. And surprisingly, a lot of bizarre stuff happened on last night's episode. Like, I feel like we kind of knew which direction every couple was going to go, but shockingly, we learned some new stuff. Number one, we have to talk about Amelia and Bennett, because I feel like this entire season they have just been going up and up and up. They've been doing amazing. They had their issues with Amelia having to move for her job and whatnot, but it all seemed kind of minor. Well, last night, I think they all kind of have butterflies. They're all nervous. It's the day before Decision Day, and Amelia, for some reason, just casually told Bennett that she only came on the show not to find love, but because she wanted to be on a reality TV show. I don't know about you guys, but I looked at Bennett when, Amelia told Bennett that, and he was just like, oh my God, like what? Because he didn't make a big deal to her, at least not in front of the cameras, but you could just see he was like, oh my God, that is not good, because obviously Bennett came here and he even just said it. He told everyone that, hey, I came here to find love. I wanted to get married. And Amelia just said the complete opposite thing. So his concern is like, well, geez, if I do say, hey, let's stay married, maybe once this show is over, Amelia will be turned to a totally different, completely different person. And so, it really didn't help either that right before that happened, Bennett had two of his random old weird friends over, and they were kind of playing devil's advocate, and they were really talking about the negatives of staying married. One of his friends in particular, Thaddeus, I think was his name, he was so negative. He was talking about all the downsides and how you don't really know her. And so he was really talking up a storm in Bennett's ear. And then immediately after, Amelia told him that, yeah, I just came on the show just for fun. I just wanted to be on a reality TV show. I really wasn't even thinking about getting married. And so once Bennett heard that, he was like, oh my God. And I completely feel like before that happened, Bennett was just saying, yes, 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 he is going to want to stay married. But after that comment, and after talking to his weird friend Thaddeus, or whatever his name was, I feel like he's kind of on the edge. I don't know what is going to happen with these two. I know everyone thinks that they know. I have no idea. We're going to have to wait and see, I believe, until next week. I think next week is going to be the season finale, finally. If you haven't noticed, this has been a very long season of Married at First Sight, and I am super curious to see how everything plays out. But with Amelia and Bennett, I don't know why she waited so long to drop that huge secret on him. It's like, why wouldn't you just tell him a little bit sooner? Why did you wait the day before Decision Day? So you guys comment below your thoughts on Amelia and Bennett. I know a lot of you guys love them, but after she made that comment, I'm kind of wishy-washy. And now that we just talked about one of the better couples, we might as well fast forward over to one of the worst couples, and that is Henry and Christina. Henry and Christina, debatably probably the top 3 worst couple to ever even be on this show. Clearly, everyone can guess my thought that they should not stay married whatsoever. They should end their, marriage or marriage. Anyway, on last night's episode, we got to see Christina made some comments 2 episodes ago about Henry. She supposedly got these text messages that someone was claiming that Henry was cheating on her, and not only cheating on her, but cheating on her with a man. We're pretty confident that those texts are just completely fabricated, though, because Christina would never actually share Henry the text. So it's like, if that happened, why wouldn't you show the guy the text? But long story short, they had those allegations. Then Married at First Sight scheduled a little couples retreat thing, and for whatever crazy reason, Henry and Christina decided to go. So they went to this weekend retreat. They completely dropped the whole allegation thing. Christina just forgot it, and they had a good weekend. Then they came back, and you could see Henry was like, well, we have some unfinished business, and Christina just did not want to bring it up. So I don't know if she's starting to admit that, yeah, those texts were just a complete lie or what, but then it gets even weirder, because then they go out for like a last final date kind of a thing before Decision Day, and it was, I don't want to use the word romantic, but it was kind of just, it was fine. For Henry and Christina, they have had such an awful, marriage so far. This little date thing was just kind of fine. And Christina asked Henry, hey, do you have anything in particular that you really like about me? And I swear to you guys, we saw Henry, and Henry's face was just like, and it was there for like 5 minutes. It looked like he was just like, well, and finally he kind of jabbered out a couple really honestly, sincerely nice things. And all of a sudden, Christina was like, oh my God, that was so nice. I had no idea that you even noticed those things. And next thing you know, the cameras turned to Christina and she is bawling. She is so emotional. She couldn't believe it. And I feel like she kind of just realized that, oh my God, you know what? Even though Henry is shy and awkward, he is really just a sincerely nice guy. And I think I kind of dropped the ball on this one because I feel like she kind of believes that she could have maybe persuaded Henry earlier on if she would have acted a little bit more normal at the beginning of the season to maybe have some interest. Henry, he was slow going. It was going to take him a very long time to open up. But Christina, she lied. She made stuff up. She just did bizarre crap, like those text messages that she won't show anyone. So it's like at this point, Henry, he is checked out. He is done. But after Henry made those sweet comments, Christina was sitting there saying, oh my God, I kind of want him now. And so the weirdest freaking thing happened, but it was like for Christina, a switch just flipped and she was like, in my opinion, she was like trying to kind of make moves on him and trying to be all sweet and romantic and nice. And Henry was just looking at her like, what are you doing? This is over. It is done with. But she was making comments like, you know, I thought I knew my decision and now I'm kind of backtracking and all this crap. And Henry was just like, oh my God, come on. This is over. So I personally believe that Henry is done. He is checked out. But Christina, I wouldn't be shocked, you guys, if she tells Henry that she wants to stay married. I would not be shocked. Now, is that a good idea? Absolutely not. They have no business, Henry and Christina, staying married. They are a god-awful couple that should not be together whatsoever. But Christina just kept making these little comments, and now all of a sudden I feel like she's like, wow, I've been dating these tools and these not nice guys for a very long time. There is Henry. Henry is shy and awkward and kind of weird, but overall, he is a genuinely sweet guy. He's kind of charming, and I feel like she's starting to kind of notice that, and now she's trying to kind of backpedal a little bit. So you guys, comment below what you think is going to happen with Christina, not Henry. Henry, I feel like we already know. If Henry says he wants to stay married, I am just done with this show. But Christina, it could go 50-50. And that brings me to another sweet old happy couple, and that is Woody and Amani. They're sweet. They love each other. It's honestly kind of strange. I thought at the beginning of this season that Woody was going to have some of these. He was going to have some roaming eyes because he is such a flirt and he's so outgoing, but I was wrong. Now, let me just say too, we have not really seen these two out in real life because, you know, they have the stay-at-home order, and so for a lot of this season, they have just been inside. They haven't really been out and about with a lot of people, but I kind of thought Woody, at first glance, was going to be a little flirty, kind of like Brett. And I remember Brett was like doing this to the waitress and all that stuff at the beginning of the season. I kind of thought we were going to see some of those traits in Woody. But boy, I was wrong. At least for now, I was completely wrong. He's in love. I mean, he really does just seem to love Amani. It's kind of strange how much they have in common, how just perfectly fit they are. It's really kind of odd. You know, I just don't know. At this point, I feel like it's a done deal. They're going to be happy, married kids. I mean, I guess things could change, I guess. But God, it just seems like they're so happy. They're in love. And I mean, they're like a perfect couple. It's freaking weird, honestly. Usually when these couples work on Married at First Sight, there's little things here and there. Like we always see it with these couples. The ones that say yes, usually they're not the greatest couple. They really have to work on their relationship and try to make it work. But man, Woody and Amani, I mean, they are like unbelievably close. So I don't know what to think. Y'all can comment below. I think they are sweet. I think they are cute. And overall, I just wish them the best. And I know, we technically only have 4 couples because one of the couples, Brett and Olivia, they threw in the towel a little bit early. Well, last night, we did get to see Brett, and we also got to see Olivia, and last night just sealed the deal. It was the taping on the box for me with Brett. I cannot stand Brett. And after last night, his just unbelievable unbelievably rude and just, horrible qualities kind of came out because he was talking to one of his buddies. They were out to dinner and his friend was like, hey, would you ever be open to this relationship again with Olivia? Would you ever give it another shot? And he was just like, no, I've moved on. He even said that he's back on dating apps again, and he went as far to say that he has not learned anything and that nothing good came out of this for himself because his friend was like, well, have you grown? Have you changed? What has happened with you? And he was like, nope, I'm the same guy. I haven't learned anything new about myself or dating or anything like that. He said the only thing I learned new is about TV production. So obviously, Brett, he came on this show for fun. He maybe came on for fame. He did not want to meet love. I feel like he just figured, I'll go on the show. It'll be a fun experience. Maybe I'll fall in love, but more than likely I won't. And then a couple weeks after, I can go on and, start dating again. So, hey, that's what happened with him. And that's great for him. That's what he wants to do. But, the sad part is he completely broke Olivia's heart because then we fast forward over to Olivia and she is still pretty upset. Like, she took this serious. She put her heart into this thing. She was talking to one of her friends and she told her that, yeah, it didn't work out. We got a divorce. And she kind of got teary-eyed when she said it. And then her friend asked her, would you ever consider going back to Brett? And she said, maybe. So I think she is still, for some reason, into this, relationship. She still wants it to work for some crazy reason, even though Olivia, she's a little bit boring, but she could definitely do so much better than Brett. I feel bad for her. I wish her nothing but the best. And I hope to God on decision day, she tells Brett that she does not want to try and work things out. Because, at the end of the day, they have differences that they aren't going to work. Their differences are way too big with money and travel and just everything. They're so different. And so it's like if Olivia wants to try and work this relationship out, me personally, I feel like they're going to have to just change at the core. They're going to have to do so many changes and whatnot to make the relationship work. It's just not going to happen. And, Brett already said he's already dating other people. So it's like, Olivia, girl, you got to move on. And last but not least is Miles and Karen. I don't know what is going to happen with these two. I can't even stand here and guess. To be completely honest, we have seen Miles this entire season just bend over backwards for Karen. We have seen Karen, at least on camera, not show many emotions. She just kind of seems like, oh, yeah. I mean, at first, she said she wasn't even attracted to Miles. Now he seems to kind of be growing on her. But, I mean, I'm not rooting for these two as a married couple, to be completely, totally honest. I don't think. I still feel like Miles is doing too much of the bending. He's doing too much. I just don't think it's 50-50. I haven't thought it's 50-50 this entire season, and I just don't see these two working out. I mean, last night they were talking about what she needs, what he needs in a relationship, and Karen was like, I want a manly man. I want a man to lead the pack and lead the way and say, we're doing this, we're doing that, and this, that, and the other, and to set our goals and all that stuff, which is great. That is a great thing to want in a spouse. But the problem is, I don't see Miles really being that person. I feel like Miles is so nice. Miles won't tell people what to do. Like for his wife, he wants to bend over backwards, literally. And so it's like, he is so sweet and nice. He's not going to tell Karen, go do this, we're doing this, we're going this way. I feel like he's kind of the polar opposite. He's the kind of guy that says, hey, wife, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go for dinner? What do you want to do with this, that, and the other? So it's like he is not that kind of a controlling kind of a guy. And for me, it's just not going to work. I mean, they have nothing really going for them, I feel like, at least. I mean, they look good together physically, but emotionally, I'm just like, I guess they have some similar interests, kind of. And Karen does seem to kind of be opening up a little bit more to him, but still, it's like this show usually lasts for 8 weeks, 2 months. Okay, now we are on 4 months of this whole process going on, so they have had double the amount of time to be together, and it's like if they're still kind of on the fence after having double the amount of time, that should be a gigantic red flag, and I feel like Miles should run. I have absolutely no idea what Karen is going to say. I feel like if I had to guess, Miles will go first, and I think he might say yes because he is just delusionally wanting to be married so bad, which, I mean, hey, after being on this show, I bet there's probably about a line of like 10,000 different women that would much rather appreciate and love Miles a heck of a lot more than Karen. So, you know, maybe he's going to run. I would suggest that he just gets the heck out of this marriage and meets someone else that really appreciates him, because he is a terrific guy. And it's not that Karen is some horrible person, it's just Karen wants someone else. Karen wants a manly man. That isn't really Miles. So I don't know what either of them are going to say. I don't know what is going to happen. I just know that Miles was like done. He was set and sold. It was a done deal for him. But then he started talking to his buddy Woody an episode or two ago about their romantic life and how they haven't really experienced much together in that department. And, you know, Woody was like, oh my God, dude, what are you going to do if you say yes? And then you finally, you know, experience that stuff and it sucks and it's horrible. Then what do you do? So I feel like that was kind of like a little bit of a wake-up call, because it was a reality check for Miles that, hey, oh my God, we really have not experienced much together, and that being, you know, Miles and Karen. And so it's like, if I do say yes, this is a real, true marriage for the rest of my life, and there's a lot of stuff we haven't done, a lot of stuff we haven't seen, a lot of stuff we don't know. So I feel like Miles is starting to finally get a reality check. He's starting to open his eyes. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know what's going through his head. I don't know what's going through Karen's head. I sure do know, though, that if this decision day was going to happen after the true 8-week process, I would bet hard, cold cash that Karen would have said no and Miles would have said yes. I guarantee you. But because they had this extra time, we can just slowly see starting to get a little bit closer. Karen, she's starting to seem more concerned, more interested in Miles' actual life. So there could be something here. I don't know, and I can only pray to God that next week we are finally going to find out. So Married at First Sight, y'all, this has been a long, but surprisingly pretty good season. I mean, a lot of stuff happened. There's a bizarre amount of stuff with Olivia and Brett and Henry and Christina. I mean, just a bizarre amount of crap. So it's been very interesting. All of the couples, none of them have really disappointed me for drama and love. It's been a good mix of actual true love and good drama. So no complaints on my end. I have really enjoyed this season. I hope you guys have too, and I am so excited for next week, which I believe is the season finale actual decision day. So guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Please, you already know I love hearing what you guys have to say about this show and all the shows. So please feel free to comment below your thoughts. Let me know what y'all are thinking about the last episode. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for many more videos.